So let's talk about college life. Um, this is college life was between spring 2013, uh, and it's at Gordon State College. For starters, Gordon State was not my first pick. I honestly dropped the ball my senior year because I was having too much fun. Where I really didn't put any real thought into the school I wanted to go to. I knew I wanted to go to college, but I just didn't know which school I wanted to go to, and I didn't know what was my major. Um, I didn't know what my major was. I was leaning towards a veterinarian. But when I went to Gordon, probably like a month went in taking my classes, I realized I was taking the wrong classes and courses, so I changed it to psychology. Freshman year at Gordon State was different. I honestly went to a school that none of my cousins went to. But I did know a couple of people from my hometown, so it really was like kind of similar but different with other people, other personalities. I was on my own for the first time. I really kind of stuck to myself that first semester. I want to say that first semester, after the first semester, I ended up taking summer classes. I don't know why, but I stayed down there and I took summer classes. I was living on campus, Common B. I want to say I was in Common B. And again, this is single blue, or matter of fact, single Asia, because I wasn't blue until I went to college. A lot of people don't know I got my name Blue from college. I actually got it from an old friend named Honey. We're going to get into all the people I met down here in Barnesville, Georgia. Again, like I said, Barnesville became a second home to me. I honestly was attached to the college life down there. My first 2 semesters, I lived on campus. I met a couple of people that I'm still friends with to this day. Aaliyah, Black Hippie, aka Kevis, Tay Green, Kira, aka Thug. Who else that I'm really like still cool with? Tay Cersei. It's just a couple of people. Okay. Again, my first semester, I'm getting the gist of it, hanging out, turn up Tuesday, wasted Wednesdays, those type of days in college. Entered a couple of talent shows, showcased my talent. That's when I really got more into the music. Like my senior year in high school, I think I made my first song, Failure Is Not an Option, with Trey. And that was my first song I ever made. So when I went to college, I kind of entered a talent show and I did poetry. And when I did poetry, I did it in a way where I kind of hollered at one of the girls at the school. And I was watching her for a while. Again, this is single Asia now. I had my locks. I was still doing the blue locks every now and then. The locks in my head was blue. I guess I was known around school too for dancing. It wasn't until I got a place off campus I was known for throwing parties. Matter of fact, I was throwing parties on campus. This is where I got close with some of the locals in Barnesville. This is where Tay Cersei came into play, and shout out to his family because They literally let me invite people from the school to come over to their house, and we were having a slick kickback. And when I say we, like, really having kickback in front of these people, folks, like, and they not really stressing it, like drinking, smoking, all of this. Um, it was a good time. And again, this is I was smelling myself. Um, Girls did like me. I liked them. There was a dance team called No Style and this step team called Swazi. And I really wanted to be on the step team because I've always wanted to be on the step team. I didn't get on the step team at East Coweta because they were mostly girly and I wasn't finna be wearing all of that, motherfucker. So when I went to college, I ended up trying out for No Style, making the dance team. Again, I mentioned where I got my name from. It was this girl named Ashley. And she was really pretty. She had honey blonde hair. Like, I met her, like, I seen her a couple of times in the calf at the bistro and all of this. And, like, I was like, she's cute. And I was trying to figure out if she was going with this other girl who happened to be on the dance team, No Style, as well. I think one day I went home and my roommate, Minnie, shout out to Minnie, bro. Like, this Shayna, yeah, I fuck with her. She was one of my roommates in college, and when I went home one time, she ended up calling me, and she was like, I'm on the curb, and guess who I'm at the curb with? And she was like, Ashley, because she knew I liked her because I disclosed it, like we became friends because we was roommates. And I told her I liked the girl, so she ended up telling me, oh, I'm at the curb with her. Whoops, so the girl grabbed the phone, we talking, and she was trying to tell her who I was. And she was like, oh, yeah, you the girl with the blue hair. And she was like, I'm going to call you Blue. And I was like, cool, I'm going to call you Honey. So she gave me a nickname. I gave her a nickname, not knowing that it was going to stick with me to this day. But it did. Again, college was... That's when I was really drinking. That's probably why I don't drink now. I was already smoking. Yeah, I want to say college life. That was when I called myself trying to sell some weed. I ended up selling some weed for like it wasn't long because I didn't like trying to look over my shoulder, make sure nobody watching me, make sure no 12 watch me, make sure I ain't selling to the wrong person. So that selling weed shit did not last for me. I really just started, I was just smoking. When I moved off campus, I got an apartment at Arbor Trace. And that's when I really was like throwing parties, inviting people to come over there between their classes. We used to smoke. I'm entertaining them by dancing, doing all of this. So, yeah, like if you ever had anybody go to Gordon State College during 2013 through 2016, I'm pretty sure y'all went to one of my parties. Y'all probably didn't know it was my party, but it was mine because you know how people, word of mouth, people just show up. So yeah, and I was very strict at my parties. Like I had a door person, I had a back door person, I had a person that stood by the bathroom because I only wanted girls to use the bathroom, no boys. Nobody going upstairs. We was, bruh, when I say we had that shit locked, we had that shit locked. None of my shit really got shut down. Police did show up, but none of my shit got shut down. One of my biggest parties I ever remember was my homeboy Chug had a house out there in Barnesville. Like, he was in the country, and he allowed me to throw a party. When I say it was the biggest party I've ever thrown, it was the biggest party I ever thrown. It was turned up. We had people inside and outside. Like, it got so packed that we had to move the party outside. We're outside. We having a good time. Somebody threw a bottle at me, but thank God it missed me. But I was pissed off. I don't know why y'all hating. Then the fight broke out to the point where shots was fired. And when I say shots was fired, and it's coming from Chug, because somebody else tried to shoot off. So he was like, oh, y'all, I remember bro came out with a shotgun. He was cocking that bitch back with one hand. He's... I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit, everybody down, everybody down. I'm only making sure my people was alright. Y'all stay in the house. We good. We're gonna let it calm down. Once everybody cleared, we ended up leaving. But that was like one of the dopest and littest party I ever remember throwing. Like I done threw a lot of parties. Can't nobody top my parties. Can't nobody top my fucking parties. What I really didn't like my first couple of semesters at college was people kept saying that I looked like this girl named Kato. And when I saw her, I was like, no, we don't look like. Like, no, we don't. I want to say after that day, I said that it was like the hate was just thrown. To the point where one day I was walking between the comments and Kevius, remember this, J Harmony, remember this. This is how I met Black Hippie. Walking through the comments and they were in comment A and they were yelling down at me talking shit. And I'm looking up talking shit back. Like, yeah, when I ever see you. So one day I caught Kato and I was like, I don't do all of this extra shit. You want to fight, let's fight. So we walked down on the street on the other block of where the track was, and that's when I realized I was really at a school with some people that knew me because Tartisha was there, Raven was there, Alicia was there, I think. And basically Tartisha was telling me not to fight the girl, and I was like, nah, because I don't like the fact that her friends don't like me because she don't like me and they don't even know me. The only thing I said was I don't look like her. Like, no, she's her and I'm me. Like, we're two different people, and now we got these people beefing with me, yelling at the comments and her homeboys, and I'm not sweet. Like, we not doing this. Like, mama didn't raise no goddamn punk. So what it is, we ended up not fighting. And that's how I met Kevius and Tay and J Harmony, ended up being friends with them. Locking in with them, like, these motherfuckers taught me a lot of shit down there in bars and no cap. Like, I didn't even know what a swoop was until I got down there. And I ain't gonna tell you who they kept calling the swoop, but they kept calling the old girl the swoop. What's another, whoop the whoop? Like, them niggas, like, yeah. They really taught me some shit down there. We really got into some shit down there. And, yeah, I fuck with them boys, man, like, for real. And if anybody, like, was around me during the college time, especially when I ended up living off campus, bro, like, I used to let niggas crash on my sofa. Like, I used to let niggas eat whatever's in the fridge, and I barely even had shit in the fridge. But mi casa is su casa, my nigga. So, like...
What's up? This your boy Black Hippie. I'm from Barnesville, Georgia, aka B.L.E.U, the Villa, whichever you want to call it, man. And honestly, man, it's crazy how I know Blue. Man, Blue had some words with somebody I was hanging with. And one day I seen her, she was walking with somebody, and we was at the college. And I see her walking out, she was walking through the breezeway, and I was in the window, and I said some little slick shit to her, just fucking with her. And make a long story short, shit, look at it now. We the bestest friend. That's my sister, man. That's my dog. Describe Blue in 3 words. Funny, free spirit, if that's one word, and different. Get high all the time. We used to just, when we was in college, we used to sit in her apartment. That's how we really used to come up with the music or just fuck with the music. I remember my sister didn't even fuck with music, like rap. She used to just want to hear me rap. Just get high and hear me rap. But yeah, we used to just always get high, have sessions after her class or even before her classes, and just listen to beats of music and just vibe out. I used to love that shit. Her style.
Yeah.
Definitely her style, and her personality. If you ain't like Blue, you was a hater. That's just my opinion. If you ain't like her, you was a hater, cause she was a people person. If she met you and y'all caught a vibe, she'll treat you like one of her own. I know for a fact she treated me like one of her own. She let me sleep on the sofa. So I'm telling you from experience, she got a good heart for sure, for sure. Just stay consistent. Keep being who you are and keep God first. That's all you gotta do. But most of all, definitely stay consistent. And you're gonna get there. Your work ethic, you got a different work ethic than a lot of other artists that come from where we come from and just doing what we doing. You got a different work ethic. You stay promoting yourself. And ain't nobody gonna promote yourself better than you. So just stay consistent. I swear to God, you got it, sis. You got it.
And again, this is where I really show love to Tay Cersei and his family, because when I first moved off campus, um, I think my lights in the AC and stuff wasn't on. It was a hot ass summer, and like I had no power or nothing. And I asked him to ask his grandma, could I, come spend the night, just need to lay down. Next day they should have all my stuff on. I'm moving in, all my stuff coming from noon and blah blah blah. And his grandma let me stay over there. That's why I really rock with him. Like anytime I'm in Barnesville, I try to make sure I stop by and say, hey, check up on anybody that's still down there, bro. Like, because I was down there for damn near 3 years, maybe 4 years before I left. So it was really like a second home to me, and I really made like some family that literally to this day I call them family. Aaron, aka Squid, aka Ace, aka Prince Taliban, like that's my nigga to this day too. Like I really met some good people in college. I want to say I got my associates. I got my associates in 2016. During my process of getting my associates, I lost my grandmother. And that was very hard. I remember I was going to take an exam, and I got the call from, I think it was my aunt or my cousin. And yeah, I broke down, had to go to the counselor, but I dealt with that. While getting my associates, I ended up switching fields. I went from a job to a career job. I was working in the school cafeteria, the little bistro spot. Then I had two jobs. I ended up having the school job and the McDonald's job. I ended up getting fired from McDonald's because Miss Joyce was a dick. And then I went back I was at Sodexo for a while. I ended up getting fired from them because they some weak ass motherfuckers. They let a girl named Crystal throw some fucking bleach water on me. And I remember that because I was so fucking mad at that lady because she was hating on me because I had called out one day because I had a fucking exam. And I didn't want to go to work. I wanted to fucking study, bro. I'm in school for a reason. So, yeah, she got mad at me because I called out talking about you don't want to make no money. Girl, don't worry about my fucking pocket. My bills are paid. Don't worry about that. So, yeah, anyways. Once I got fired from Sodexo, I ended up going back to McDonald's, getting fired from McDonald's because Tammy was a bitch and she was fucking everybody. I ended up getting a job at Georgia Baptist Children Homes Family Ministry, something like that. It was a church base. So I really had to play my role with this because I heard a lot of things with applying for that job, but I still got it. It was really working in the group homes with children that was in the system. And it was kind of nice. I learned a lot there, but I ended up leaving that job and working with older people because that job didn't protect me because I ended up having an incident with one of the kids where the kid thought they were going to jump on me and the job really didn't have my back. So yeah, I ended up leaving there. College life was really a roller coaster, but I really became a different person outside of people that know me from my hometown. granted, I'm still the same person, but I became more confident. I kind of stood on my own because I felt like growing up, like people were only my friends because who my cousin was or who my brother was, or they wanted to hang out because they were trying to get closer to my brother or closer to my cousin. So when I went to college, it really was me. Like, you either like me for me or you don't. Like, you either gonna be my friend because of me or you don't. Again, more confident. Um, I didn't have to do crazy things to fit in. I was already my own box. So anybody that wanted to hang out with me, that means you decided to get in my box because my box fit. You know, your personality or what type of person you were in life. But yeah, uh, yeah, college life was definitely different from general school days.
My name is Aaliyah. I know Blue from Gordon, so like 2013. And describing Blue in 3 words, I would say hardworking, chill, and passionate. So, a story I tell about Blue, I feel like I've known Blue in different chapters. So, the first one will come to like when we did a talent show together. I don't know what we did, but we did a talent show together, worked together, something. You helped me come up with some stuff for mine. But yeah, that's a memory for me. Another chapter, I say once we lived together, and like, because we did live together. I didn't even tell that part, but we lived together. We had a house, 392 Atlanta Street. The first time I really like lived with somebody, because yeah, the dorms don't count.
Blue.
Living with Blue. Blue is chill. Blue stay to herself. She don't mess with you. You ain't got to worry about your stuff coming up, miss. That was a. Oh, these memories are crazy because there were times me and Blue would get into it, but we never really got into it where it was like, I'm about to hit the hoe. It's like we definitely just know how to communicate, and it was cool. But a lot of our memories, we really would sit on the sofa talking. Parties, we had all kind of parties. So yeah, Blue is grown now. Back then, I say you were trying to find your way, but not really letting nothing stop you. You would find your way though. So you weren't afraid. Even when we moved in together, you weren't afraid to ask me. Like, hey man, what you where you stay at? You always put yourself out there regardless. You'll take a risk. Now you'll take a risk, but you come off more settled now. You're more relaxed and settled. You kind of stable now. Some encouraging words for Blue moving forward are don't stop. Don't stop no matter what. You've put in the work and it's time to reap the fruits of your labor. So don't stop. Your story does not end, it's only beginning.
Like I said, I got older. I was able to buy my own liquor, having my own place, my own job, um, paying my own bills. Like, I really didn't need my mom to sign off for anything. I was starting to build my own credit. Um, but yeah, I still struggle with a real relationship with my brother, a real relationship with my older sister. That's why I think I do my best to be there for my little sister because I want her to know that she can have somebody to lean on and count on whenever she needs and is unable to talk to her mom or her dad. So she can always come to me. Um, but yeah, yeah. Uh, in college, I ended up shooting my shot with a girl that became a friend first, and Leah helped me do that, and we ended up moving together at the house I had, um, 392 Atlanta Street. That was another house that I was well known for throwing parties, but Me and her ended up. Matter of fact, me and Leah moved into that spot together, and then when Leah helped me get the girl to want to date me and talk to me, and then we ended up being together. Um, we ended up, and I don't know, either I asked her, or she asked me if she wanted to move in, but all three of us agreed that we're gonna move into this house and we're gonna split the bills. Ooh, ooh. I was with her maybe 3 years too. I want to say when I went to get my bachelor's, I ended up going to a school called Argosy first. Yeah, Argosy University first, online. And then in the process of doing that, they shut down, so I had to transfer to another school. But in the process of getting my bachelor's degree, I ended up losing my dad, and yeah, that was very tough. Very tough. With me, like for real. Um, it wasn't until I got to college where my daddy, he wanted to come stay with me at that point, and I let him stay. Oh, he stayed. He contributed. He wanted to work. I was trying to tell him to be careful because where I stayed at, you really didn't know too many people, so I ain't want nobody to take advantage of my daddy. So, I just kept him around good people. I want to say, like the last couple of moments, I had with my dad. I want to say he had stayed with me for a couple of months, and then he got into a little accident, got another settlement check, and he went back up to Lawrenceville to get it. Stayed there for a couple of days or whatever, and then like I was just hearing. Matter of fact, I want to say I didn't hear from my daddy. And something told me something was off, and I didn't want him to think I was mad about, him leaving and didn't want to come stay with me no more. I just want to make sure my dad was all right. So when I called him, I want to say my oldest cousin was telling me that he was just gonna get out the hospital or something, been complaining about his back. So when I talked to him, he sounded weak. He was saying he wanted to come back, stay with me, and I was like, by that time, I was in my caregiving stage. One day I called and they was telling me that he was in and out of the hospital. So I had told him, I said, man, come on home, bro. I got you. I was built for this. I was made for this. Come on home. I'll take care of you. He came. And when I tell you, he just didn't look the same as the last time he stayed with me. Um, he did not sleep the whole time he came back. I want to say it was 3 days he stayed until we was like, let's go take him to the hospital. When I say, bro, like I would have dropped everything for my daddy. It was to the point like once I came home um, from work one day, and the girl that I was dating at the time, she was like, "Man, your daddy didn't sleep at all. He was crying. He been crying all day." Whoop, whoop, whoop. So I recall going into the room, getting some icy hot, and like rubbing my daddy down with some icy hot because he was saying he's sore. Was massaging his feet, rubbing his back, trying to make him a bath water, feeding him food, trying to make him eat. He wasn't really eating. So, that third day, while I was at work, the girl I was dating at the time, she was like, look, I'm finna take your daddy to the hospital. I said, bet, when I get off, I'm gonna meet y'all at the hospital. Sure enough, when I got off of work, I went to the hospital, Upson Lee Hospital, down there by Barnesville, Thomaston area, and Milner area, matter of fact. Um, Went to Upson Lee, walked in, we got my daddy in the little emergency room or whatever, getting him checked out. Ooh. The girl that I was dating at the time, she went home. I said, I'm going to stay here with my daddy and figure out what's going on. So, shoot, when I found out that they was about to give him a room and they was admitting him into the hospital, I said, okay, boom, I'll come see you after I get off of work. So, he said he was straight. When I tell you, my daddy walked himself into the hospital. The next day I went to work, I want to say probably around 12 noon, he called me. He was crying, bro. He was like, I'm paralyzed. And I was like, what you mean you paralyzed? He was like, I can't feel nothing. I can't feel nothing from my neck down. So imagine me, I want to say I'm 24, 23, 24 at this time. He telling me he paralyzed. So I'm at work, trying not to freak out because I'm very in tune with my emotions. And this is my daddy we talking about, bro. So he telling me this and he telling me what the doctor saying. So I'm like in disbelief. So I'm at work trying to, do work. But I told him I gotta go see about my dad and see what's going on. So I get to the hospital, go to the room, wait for the doctor to come in. They come in. He broke it all the way down. When I tell you, they said my daddy had a cyst in his neck. Um, he had he had something on the back of his neck, something on his vocal cords. He had an infection in his blood, and then he had something attacking his heart. And then he was paralyzed on top of all that. Now I'm 23, 24, and the doctor telling me this, and then the doctor go after telling me all my dad's, what he diagnosed with. He telling me, well, do you know if your dad got a will? Well, do you know if your dad got a power and attorney? Whoop, and all of this. And I'm looking at my dad like, why they talking to me like that? Like, you just finna just leave, nigga. Like, it just devastating. So I had to take on a role as his power attorney because that's what he wanted at the time. He wanted me to be his power attorney, make all the decisions. They were saying, he gonna have to have this surgery and this surgery and this surgery. So they actually moved him from Upson Lee to I want to say he went to Emory or he went to before he went to Emory, he went to like a spine or something in Atlanta, a spine doctor or something, and that's when they did the surgery on his vocal cords at first. And the decision I had to make was get the surgery and help clear whatever that is on his throat, but risk him not being able to sing again, or don't do nothing and risk him losing his life. Like, I didn't know what to do, so I made the decision to have the surgery on his throat and prayed the whole time that, when he recovered, he can still sing. So that happened. And when I tell y'all, I was going from Barnesville, Georgia, shooting all the way to damn near Decatur to be with my daddy after I got off of work, or the days I was off, I would go sit up there, literally take naps in his room, not leave that man's side. I would not leave my daddy's side, bro. Um, he had another surgery I had to sign off of again. I want to say that one's about his heart. So after he had all his surgeries, they took him to Emory. And Emory is where he spent quite a time at Emory, man. This is why I kind of have a love-hate with Emory and Grady, matter of fact. But so took him to Emory, after he recovered. He actually was able to sing again. I want to say I went to the hospital a couple of days before his birthday. He didn't think nobody was going to come. And I actually surprised him with balloons, flowers. When I sat beside his bed, we sung.
Since I feel you in my arms, so I picked up a pen and paper and decided to write you a song.
Things you say to say since you took your love away. All I had was dark and lonely days, 'cause the sun don't shine my way. So wish that I could find the words to say to show you love.
Oh, words just can't express the way I feel.
'Cause you're my angel, my sun up in the sky. Yeah, it was a nice moment. He was very emotional. It's been, and I want to say, the whole time that my daddy was going through his health issues around this time, I felt like he he felt like God was punishing him. That's what I feel like, that he thought that God was punishing him for not being the man that he knew he could be, or being the father that he knew he could be, for all the bad decisions he made. I feel like he thought God was punishing him, so he talked about death a lot during those times. He was in Emory and Grady. He just kept apologizing to me and my older sister. I finally convinced my older sister to come see him, because I was scared that I might lose my daddy. And I'm like, you the only part of him I have, so you know come see him. I know you and him don't have the best relationship, but come for me, come support me. And she came, and it was a dope vibe. I want to say they had moved him to what is it called? It's like a therapeutic place where you're supposed to, recover, start working on trying to get more feeling into your leg and in your arms and stuff. So they went there. I want to say he was there for a good 3 days, and them folks called me, was like, yo, your daddy got a case. And I was like, what you mean? They was like, have you seen, actually seen your daddy full body? Like, I was like, no, not really. And anytime I come visit him, they already did his little bed, swap his bed, because when you bed bound, you're supposed to be rotated every 2 hours so you won't get bed sores. So, I ended up going to see him. And when I tell you, like, my daddy he just started, I started to see a change, especially when he was in that, therapy place. Yeah, it was one time I came in there and he was just staring at the sky. He didn't even know I was there. He was just stuck. Then he told me a story about one of the nurses was giving him Nickies or some, whatever that date rape drug was back in the day. And I ended up telling, the people that worked there, and we actually had like a group meeting with both of my aunts, my dad, myself, and all the board of directors within that facility. And they was telling us that, basically they really can't help him because he's not ready for this. And then they showed me pictures of his behind. And when I tell y'all, he didn't have no behind, like, it literally broke me into pieces, because I feel like the people in the healthcare field, medical field, is supposed to be helping those that's less fortunate, or those that are injured or wounded, recover from their wounds. And Emory failed my daddy, like failed them to the core. He failed them bad. So after that, he stayed in there for a little while. There was a point where he had made me mad, and I stopped coming. Like, I really stopped coming. Like, he pissed me off so bad. I was like, I'm going to show you that don't nobody really care for you. Like, you really think I don't care, that I make it, my duty to come see you after work, before work, or when I'm off. Like, and this ain't no 10-minute drive. This is literally an hour and 30 minutes to get to you, and an hour and 30 minutes to get back to where I live. And you telling me I don't care about you? And that's one of the things I really hate that I did to my daddy, because I shouldn't have did that. But when we did get back on talking terms, he removed me off of power of attorney and gave it to my aunt, which I felt some type of way about that as well. But over time, I understood why he did it. Then they put him on hospice, and like I said, around this time, I'm already in the healthcare field, so I'm a caregiver. So I take care of older people, younger people. Like, I do this, and I know what the hospice mean. Like, I feel like when they put you on hospice, they basically saying, we just gonna make you comfortable until you transition. Basically, I want to say it was about I want to give it to a good 4 or 6 months. He stayed with us after being put on hospice. He stayed with my cousin. He stayed with my cousin at first, and I want to say, I recall getting a call from him. He was just, when I say he was talking deaf all through the phone, like he about to die in 30 minutes. So I was telling him, like, when I get off of work, I'm going to go see him. Ended up going over there, kicking it with him, and I was like, something over me was just so scared to go in the room with him, because again, he talked about death a lot. He kept apologizing. I kept telling him, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. You don't have to say sorry. You don't have to apologize. It's okay. Like, to the point where I didn't even go in the room. I stayed in the living room. I did my homework, stayed in the living room. He would call my name. I wouldn't come. He asked me for a drink of beer. I didn't give it to him. He asked for to hit the weed. I didn't give it to him. I wish I would have gave it to him if I had known that he was going to leave me like he did. But, yeah, I want to say that day I left, my cousin that was over there, and he called them in the room. And he told them something. So when I got in the car and I was talking to him, I was like, what my daddy tell you? And they were saying when he leave this earth that you was going to take it really hard and to be there for you, basically. Yeah, that was really hard. So yeah, I mean, I didn't went to see him as much as I can. By that time, when he was on hospice, he was a little bit further out in Lawrenceville than he was closer to me. So yeah. But I worked out there, so it was crazy that, I still kind of worked out in that area where I worked was kind of like 30 minutes of where he was at. So when I got the call that he really wasn't doing well, like, I want to say my aunt actually called me, not him. My aunt called me and was just like, come see your daddy. Like, he not doing good. Like, I think you should really come see your daddy. And I remember this shit like it was yesterday. Like, I was getting off of work, and like after I got the phone with my aunt, I literally was talking to God, and I was like, "Look, bro, I can't keep getting these, false alarm calls. Like, if he just want me to come see him, he could just say, come sit with me. Don't make it seem like you finna die type shit, so I can rush over here and all you wanted me to do was sit with you." So I was screaming to God, and I was like, if it's his time, it's his time. Like, I don't want it to be, but if it's his time, it's his time. I literally said it. But like I say, this is very vivid. I can remember it like it was yesterday. When I got to my aunt's house, before I even went in to go see my daddy, I went to go see my two aunts. They were in my other aunt room. And they were sitting, and they were looking at me. They was just like, hey, how you been? You need to see your daddy. She was telling me all the changes. She was like, Monday he was all talking. By Wednesday, he didn't want to eat. He didn't want to drink. He wasn't talking. She was basically saying his face sunk in, all of that. This is before I walked into the room to actually where he was at. So after, talking to my aunt and getting the update, I ended up walking into the room where he was at. And he didn't look like himself, bro. He didn't look like himself at all. Like, his eyes were sunken, his face was sunken in. He was really skinny. Like, you can see his ribs, his bones. Like, he looked very fragile. Like, he couldn't talk. He can move his eyes. And I was just like, I was really in shock. So when I seen him, I literally turned around and I walked back because I was like, ain't no way this my daddy. Like, bro, y'all just told me this man was good. Now, 2 days later, he like this. So I kept talking to my aunt them. They were saying that basically the hospice doctor that come and check on him basically gave him 48 hours to live. I broke down, like, because I was recalling what I said on the way to go see him. And I was like, man, I didn't mean that, bro. Like, if I could take it back, I could take it back, but I can't. So I called the girl I was dating at the time, broke down to her, was telling her, I ain't going to work. I'm going to stay up here and I'm going to sit with my daddy, bro. I called my sister and I told my sister, I said, look, I know you don't really fuck with your daddy, but I need you to come. I need you to come for me. She did not want to come the first time I called her. I called my mama. I explained to my mama. I broke down to my mama. I was like, I said, this for real, bro. Like, this ain't no false alarm. This is, bro, I see him. I see him. I worked in this field a long time. I done had clients that, passed or went to hospice, and I know what death looked like. And basically my daddy had the death face on him. So I want to say, I stayed. When I say I stayed. Like, that first night after being called, I slept literally right beside his bed. I ain't go nowhere. I slept literally right beside him. Yeah. Then I woke up the next morning. I went to my cousin's house, which was down the street from where he was. You know, smoked a little blunt with her, talked to her. We cried. You know, she was like, you know, let's get ready to go back over there. I said, cool. Went back over there. I was trying to motivate him to stay alive. Because, you know, they say when you about ready to die, you know, you lose your five senses. The last thing you lose is your sight and your hearing. So I knew he wasn't able to hear me. I mean, I knew he wasn't able to speak. So, you know, I laid by his bed and I talked to him in his ear, and I was like, you know, you told me you wasn't gonna leave me. You told me you was gonna fight. Like, and as I'm saying all of this to him, he crying, so I know he could hear me. And so, like, again, I'm trying to get my daddy like to have more life and more movement. So I was like, you know, you thirsty, all of. So my aunt was saying, you know, and matter of fact, when I asked him, did he want some water, he like shook his head a little bit and was like, no. And then my aunt told me, like, the day before she tried to give him like a little drop of water, and like he damn near choked and choked off the water, so she was scared to give him anything. So yeah, the hospice lady came in the next day, and you know, she was basically my aunt was getting ready for the funeral or whatever the case may be. Like, she was making plans with the pastor. The pastor came in, prayed, and I can overhear them in the other room. And the pastor was like, you know, basically call all your family so they can say their final goodbyes, because, you know, he at that point, his organs and everything is shutting down. I want to say the only thing that was really keeping him alive really that long was the oxygen machine he was on. So
Many nights we pray with no proof anyone can hear.
when I tell you that second day, remind you the first day I came, they said 48 hours. So I made sure I called. My mama said she won't come the next day. My mama came. The girl I was dating at the time, her mom came. His nieces and nephews came. His brothers came. Yeah, they came. And by that time, the girl I was dating, she came, so she spent the night, that second night, with me. And like after I seen that he was, you know, still here, he ain't gone nowhere. The same. I got my daddy in the back. He always overpowered me, but it just happens that way. So I'ma start it off, and he probably gonna finish it. I don't know how much longer you're gonna be here, so I say my prayers every night. One for my mother, one for my father, and one for the love
of my life. So if you decide to leave today, then leave tomorrow at the door, and take only half of yesterday.
and forget all hope for the present. What? Where you at? We were 5 steps from eternity. We were
4 steps.
Yeah. 4 steps past love and 3 wishes.
We were 3 wishes. From touching the heaven above.
Said we were 5 steps
from eternity. We were 4
3 wishes from touching the heavens above. Said we were. Another day is gone. Another night now done. Waiting patiently. Hope that you return, but not before long.
While you say goodbye,
I still feel your presence in my bed at night. In my reality wide. Hey, Brittany said hey, though. Brittany Gordon.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, tell her hey.
So what's up with her
Hey.
badass kids? Hey, Brittany, with your badass kids talking about, I babysit them, they talking about, I said, it's time to go to bed, they start giggling. I said, what's wrong with you? He said, well, we don't sleep. I said, nah, I'm joking your ass.
Sing another song, Dad. You got people watching you now. I don't know why he ain't going
it's so incredible that we should be together.
Come on.
It's undeniable how I used to say that I forever. The faces you need to know if you don't know just how to feel.
And let me show you
Now that I'm
for real.
I'm for real about going to Burger King and leaving y'all.
Bruh.
Anthony.
Come
You look
on.
like Burger King.
He said, oh, we gotta go to Burger
You
King.
know that my key goes to my car.
Cause what? Cause one,
You're like a dream come true.
2, just wanna be with you. 3,
Can't explain what you see.
that you're the only one for me. Laugh at the third day came. Still there. And I was like, okay. So when that third day night came, I was like, shoot, I'm gonna go to work the next day because my daddy ain't going nowhere. I had it in my mind. My daddy wasn't going nowhere. I normally work at 8 a.m. So from where I was in Lawrenceville, I had to make it to Atlanta. So I had to get up at like 6 o'clock, right? So I got up. I was getting ready to get dressed. Everybody was still asleep. You know, I slept on the sofa with the girl I was dating at the time, and everybody else was in the room asleep. My daddy was in my aunt's room, but I could hear the oxygen machine still going on. I went to the bathroom, brushed my teeth, got ready, got dressed and all that, and I was literally about to walk in the room and tell my daddy, hey, I'm gonna see you when I get back from work. Don't go nowhere type shit. When I entered the room, it was just a vibe in the room. The room was very cold. Like when I say very, very cold, and I'm a type of person, I do not like the cold. So it was very cold when I walked in the room, and like something, like I feel like my heart had already dropped when I walked in the room, and I was like, okay, let's go walk over. You could hear the oxygen machine. Like the oxygen machine was still working. I went over. Now, if I can fast rewind, when I came to see my daddy after my aunt called me and said, hey, you need to come see your daddy. Remind you, I said his face was sunken in. His head was like tilted up so he could breathe. Because if he did like this, he couldn't breathe. So he tilted his head up so he could get some airway, right? So he's staring at the ceiling. This is how he was. So the day I found him, I walked in, the room was cold, the oxygen machine on it. I walked over there. His eyes was closed. His mouth was closed. It was like he was just relaxed. Like, just relaxing at peace. I put my hand on his chest. His whole body was cold. I put my hand on his forehead. Everything was cold. And I just knew my daddy was gone. Like, I didn't say nothing. I walked on the other side of my aunt's bed because he slept in the room with my aunt. I walked on the other side where my aunt was sleeping in. I shook her. When she woke up, I just said, he gone. And that's all I could say. And I just started screaming. I didn't know what else to say. I just said, he gone. I just started screaming.
she got up, she jumped up, she went over there and she checked him, and sure enough, she confirmed he was gone. So basically, by me screaming, I woke the whole house up. I couldn't control my emotions. I was shaking real bad. I was hyperventilating. I had to go in the bathroom with the girl I was dating at the time, and like I broke down in there. She broke down. I had to call my job and tell my job I wasn't coming in. I just asked my daddy this morning. I called my mama and told my mama my daddy gone. I called my sister and I told my sister, I said, hey, yeah, he gone. She didn't believe me. I was like, yeah. And I told her, I said, I know y'all didn't have the best relationship, but right now I could use my big sister right now. So I called, she came over. Everybody, all the family came over. And I really hate this part, that when somebody passes away in your house, it takes the coroners hours to get there. So you're literally stuck in the house with the corpse until they come, and they supposed to come at a certain amount of time, because if they don't, the body starts to discharge and a smell starts to happen. So as all the family that was in Georgia, trying to come, they telling me to go in there, take pictures. This is the last time you gonna see him, because my family, we cremate. On my daddy's side, we cremate. So I'm like, yeah, I can't. My sister showed up. She went in her room. She had her moment. She cried. Yeah, just yeah, yeah. I want to say the moment, the coroners finally got there, wrapped them up. Before they rolled him out, they said a prayer. Like when they rolled him to the living room, like when I say I'm shaking the whole time. I'm sitting by my girl that I was dating at the time. My aunt ended up having to take over. She was like, "You shaking real bad," and I couldn't talk. And like after the prayer, they roll him out, and that like literally was the the climax of it all. Like, damn, your daddy really gone. Like, he ain't coming back. He don't get to sing no more. Like, we don't get to argue. We don't get to smoke. We don't get to talk. Like, he gone. And like as they were rolling out, like, bro, I just broke down. Like, I grabbed the stretcher that he was on. I was begging them not to take him. It was just a lot, bro. So when I be trying to tell people when they mad at their parents, like, bro, get over it, bro. Your mama's gonna always be your mama. Your daddy gonna always be your daddy, bro. You don't get another one. You don't get a second chance once they leave. Like I took that shit really hard. Like my daddy said, like I'm still taking it hard. Like when I say he passed away in 2018, bro, I had nightmares until 2020 about him. Finding him, about his face, how he looked, how so unreal it was. Like, yeah, like I don't even like really celebrating holidays. Anytime his birthday or his death date used to come, like I would get really depressed. Uh, I'm a little bit better with it now because I've accepted the fact, he gone, and I did everything I could as a daughter to, be there for him. I've also put some of my feelings into my music about him. I know when he passed away, I want to say probably a couple of months after he passed away, I ended up just taking a big leap and moving to Florida. And when I moved to Florida, I ended up writing a song for him because when I started doing music, he always talked about, I never wrote about him. I never wrote a song about him. And I told him at the time, I didn't have no words for you at the moment, to write a whole song. But now that he passed, my first song I wrote about him was I Wish. It's like a remix to R. Kelly, I Wish. I love it. And then like on this new project I'm working on, it's a song called A Song for Him, ironically. And it really opens up about the things I wish he knew, or things I wish I didn't say, or just my feelings getting it out. Granted, I know he always with me now, but I just felt like I needed to get that out on the track, which it helped. But I get so emotional with that one too. But yeah, um, losing a parent is very hard. Grieving never gets easy. You just learn to live with it. Um, but if my daddy was here today, what would I say to him? I would say, Pops, old man, I love you. I've always been proud of you. I was never ashamed of you. Um, you are always the better singer, because he always swear I was the better singer between me and him. But hats off to you, man. You sung like an angel. Um, I forgive you, and I pray you forgive me. And I wish that things were a little different. I do hope and pray that you find your peace, that you found your peace, and that we will meet again on the other side. And I know that you're with me right here on this earth, because, like I said, this new project I'm working on, I've been feeling him throughout this whole thing. Like, I've been trying to sing more, and when I do, it's him. Like, just recently, I was out house hunting with my wife, and like all his songs that he sung, like his favorite songs that he always sang, they just kept playing back to back to back to back, and I found myself just getting emotional, because I felt like that was just my dad's way of letting me know, yeah, I'm still with you. I ain't went nowhere. Um, but the most hardest thing with losing my dad is he didn't get to see me get married. Um, uh, he won't be here when I have my children. He won't get to meet them. Um, we didn't get to actually sit and make a song together, although we sung together, but we didn't actually get to lay it down on the track and be professional with it. Um, yeah, you just, yeah, he didn't get to see me grow up. He didn't get to see me overcome a lot of stuff that I was going through growing up. Yeah, it's just hard, because you see people getting married, and you see that father and daughter dance, or you see people taking their dads out for Father's Day. Like, it's always tough around his birthday, Father's Day, and his death date. Like, when those three come around, like, my depression tends to sneak up on me, and like right now where I'm at in life, I'm trying to keep that at bay and go to counseling and talk about all my trauma, all my grief, and all my issues that I got within myself. So definitely trying to be a better person, be a better me. But I do miss my daddy, bro. Like, I do, and it be random times where I just bust out in tears, or I could be singing and I sing a note and I sound just like him, and it just makes me tear up, because, like I said, I'll never get that moment again, bro. I never get that moment. Don't know how long Facebook gonna be going on, and I know some of the videos me and him made might disappear one day. Like, yeah, like, we didn't get to take a lot of pictures together. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I even though I'm 31 now, losing my dad at the age of 24, it still did something to me. And I don't think people really understand and can understand, if you never lost a parent, what an individual goes through with the grieving process and how they do it. They might look like they okay, but on the inside, they not. It's a mask half of the time. But like I said, I do take counseling, so I talk about that with my counselor, how, hurt I am about losing my dad, and the things I said that I wish I could take back, my actions. Um, But my counselor has helped me through, managing all of that. But, I'm going to always miss him. I'm always miss him, and I know he looking down on me, and I know he's proud of me, and I just want him to know I love him. That's it. That's it. I love him. I tend to, it depends on when I do it. Sometimes it's on his birthday, sometimes it's on Father's Day, and sometimes it's on his death date. But I know when I moved to Florida is when I started this tradition where I spread his ashes into water. So, while I was down there in Florida, I definitely spread his ashes in multiple oceans that I went to, multiple beaches I went to. When I came back to Georgia, I did the same thing. I tried to find me some water, make sure I spread them out into places that I would go to get, go to rethink and not reinvent myself, but, just recollect myself. Let me say that. Recollect myself. I haven't did it in a while, but yeah. I ended up buying this bear with his lion from Build-A-Bear. So when I moved to Florida probably 3 months after my dad died. Moved in with my ex-best friend. All of that. I took his ashes with me and all of that. I've always wanted somebody to buy me a Build-A-Bear with my dad's voice on it. I waited for so long, nobody did it, so I did it myself. I actually got to go redo it because they so old that they don't play the sound anymore. Yeah, they don't play the sound. Yeah. So I got to go get them redone because I would like to still hear that. I would like to still be able to know that I could hear his voice. But yeah, bought the lion, the stuffed lion to make me feel good. I have some of his clothes still. I actually sleep in, I used to sleep, or I still wear, let's say. I actually wear one of his shirts still around. That's just, when I started doing it, it was just for me to feel comfortable and feel him still near me because it still had his scent on it. Yeah, like, yeah. 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 It's a song for him. It's a song for him. No, I said some things I didn't mean, so I just wanted to clear the air. I know you looking down on me, you watching over me, but I know I'm always thinking about you. Definitely missing you. I used to wake up in cold sweats, them nightmares killed me up, replaying the last moments I had with you. Vivid details, grief and trauma, the hardest thing I had to witness. My Superman turned to ashes. It hurt me to this day, still get choked up when I think about you. I wanted to clear the air even though I knew you knew my heart. But I said some harsh things, neglected your time to say goodbye. I may have even hurt your pride, denying to come back being by your side. Thinking to hurt you, but it backfired. If I can rewind the hands of times, I spend those quality times. If I could be honest, I was afraid to look death in his eyes. Broke my soul to fight, I'm laying cold. Yeah, the peace of mind left me speechless, feel lifeless without you. Gotta know I was never ashamed of you, more pride to call you mine. Couldn't tell me anything, I love my daddy to the end of time. But who knew his end was gonna be devastated of mine. Seen a part of me flash before my eyes. One day you here, the next day he gone. Even though you couldn't speak, I know your ears hurt me by your side. First 48 gave everybody a chance to say they finding goodbyes. He passed away, even though you had 3. I was the only one that stood there through it all. Life or death decisions, I was the one making those calls. At the age of 24, just hitting my prime, I would've dropped everything, but you unselfishly took that weight away from me, my protector after all. I know I hated you for doing that, but
to find out why you did it. I know you love me, without a shadow of doubt. But I just wanted you to know that I'm proud of you and I miss you. And everything I do musically is because of you. I feel you through everything I do. I'll forever love you even though you're so far away. I pray you find your peace and that we meet again someday. I promise that I'll make you proud, and that's always. I'll keep the music alive, and that's for Sugar Ray. My one and only Superman in human form that's gone too soon, but never forgotten through me. He lives on, your legacy. I love you, man, and I miss you. I promise I won't let you down. No, I think about you every day, every second. Hope you at peace.